In this video, we have a look at whether this little tap here is really worth this massive penalty here. And we have a look at all the angles. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another slightly different video. I always start off with that when it's not a race highlight video or a guide. And this one is all about a penalty. Probably one of the biggest penalties I've ever received in sim racing. If not the biggest. It's very much up there. And what we're going to do is going to look at it today. Was it right to be given a penalty? Is the severity of the penalty? Maybe it was right, and maybe it's the severity that is a bit off, maybe? Or was it right that I should get a drive-through, and that's the end of that? Now, I would really love your feedback in terms of literally this penalty. Now, constructive criticism. No absolute garbage. No running to insult anybody else. It's all about this video. In the comments, let me know your thoughts, your opinions, if it was or wasn't a penalty, and the penalty you would give. Now, I'm going to analyze it from my side. We're going to have a look at it in hopefully an unbiased way, but it's very hard to say it'd be unbiased when I'm the driver is affected, and effectively meant that the race was dynamically changed from a very good race, where you can see we're in P12 just above my head there, to a race where, yeah, we did get a drive-through. Now, first off, let me remind you of that. Let's jump back to the race, live as it happened at the time, and then we'll jump back to me here now. 4 damage. Oh, he's just hit the wall! Oh, come on. No. No. There's enough room there. There was enough room there, in my opinion. What?
Oh, that's just unlucky.
What? We got drive-through.
Why have we got a drive-through?
Why have we got stop and go?
Right, if you have the fuel, to do it in your stint so Yarko doesn't have to go through the pits.
Yeah, I'll do it this lap.
Make sure you have enough fuel.
Yeah, I've got enough, don't worry.
Yeah, yes.
The T1 shenanigans from earlier.
But literally, there was enough room. That's nonsense. I would say what I want to say, but I won't.
Say it.
No.
Say it.
Say it.
So, welcome back. You saw my live reaction there to the penalty. Now, I was fuming at the time, and we're also not going to look at what other penalties happened in the race, because obviously during the race at the time, I was very much, I had an opinion at the time, I was very reactional. It's live, you get my raw reaction, and I did go and look at other penalties, and I was really confused at why some incidents were getting only 5 seconds, while this incident got a drive-through. So you've seen the live reaction. We're going to look at some of the data. So, of course, down on this right-hand side, we have the telemetry. So the steering is the bit above. Hopefully, I can zoom that in, actually, on the actual edit. You have the throttle there and the brake. And we're going to view it from both perspectives. So we're on mine first here. So this is just before we head on to the start-finish straight here, the penultimate corner. Well, technically, it's not the penultimate corner. This right is the penultimate corner, but you get the idea here at Indianapolis. Okay, so we're going to come through here. Now, the first point of contention here is that the Ferrari actually hits the wall there. Now, I have no idea whether that's netcode or not. I'm very much, netcode-wise and ACC, I don't fully understand it, but it looked like they hit it, and you saw that in my live reaction as well. I'm going to head down in towards turn 1 then. Now, one thing to note here is that car 71 was braking very early for this corner, okay? Hopefully I can actually put in some live footage, actually, of them braking early. Just give me a second. Oh, he's lost a slipstream. Oh, he brakes early as well. You can see they were braking early there, or hopefully you've seen it anyway. Otherwise, I've just edited that out completely. Anyway, we're going to head towards turn 1. So I know they're going to brake early, and I know they're going to brake even earlier now because one of the leaders come through. I think this was P2, actually. In fact, let me just actually have a look. Yeah, it was P2. P2 going through there. As we head into this corner then, from this perspective, I'm actually going to slow this down a little bit, okay? So as we come into here, we slowed this down to 0.5, and they're going to go on the brakes early here. You see, I'm braking. I'm having a look down the inside. Okay. Now, as we go into here, we're side by side. Now, you could argue there the curb pushes me out a little bit, and then I hit the car. So, from that incident alone, you could argue probably a penalty, I would say. You know, at the end of the day, I did hit them. I did go down the inside, and I did come from quite far back. And as we continue on, yeah, nothing else happens there. However, I would also argue, and this was my point at the time as well, and this is where I'm trying to be unbiased here, okay, is that as we come into here, okay, so I've made my intention very clear where I'm going, and at this moment in time, I don't know whether I'm overlapped or not. I've not checked this. This is the first time I'm checking this. Let's just go. Do we have any form of overlap? No, we do not. There is no overlap there. Do we get any overlap at all? There we go. So we've got an overlap here. We're now starting to match those. Well, basically, it's the rear quarter. We're past the wheels at this point. So in my mind, the driver has to know I'm there, at least. So they know I'm there. So you would give some room. Or you're just going to force a crash, essentially. So as we come through here, that overlap still exists. It's still there. As we continue on, then there's the slight contact there that we already know about. Okay, let's jump back to... I want to go to an overhead camera if I can as well. I just want to get an idea here. And I'm going to have a look at their perspective as well. How do I get an overhead camera? I'm going to have to do some manual stuff here. Oh, here we go. I do love this by ACC, by the way, the fact you can do this. So let's go back a little bit again. So we're flat above... Right, we're going to go a bit further here. And we've got the throttle inputs there as well. And the brake. So we're going to head down in towards turn 1 then. I can't actually see where turn 1 is. It's on 0.5 as well, remember. So we go into this corner. There's a tiny bit of an overlap there as we go through. It's still there. And then there's a slight contact there. Looking at that alone, would you say it's a penalty? Let me know in the comments. It's a penalty. How much would you give it? How much would you give it? Is it a drive-through that you feel? Or is it 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds? Let me know what you would give that. What I also want to do as well, I just want to slow this down a little bit more. I want to have a look at some of the throttle and brake in here. Okay, so let's go to that now. In fact, we have to go 0.5 for noise. Oh, no. There we go. Let's have a look at the throttle and brake in here. So, down on that right-hand side, we got 100% on the brakes. We lift a tiny bit there, get that overlap. And you can see we're making the corner fine here. Making the corner fine as we go through here. 3/4 throttle. I'm still turning. I was still turning right there. I could see that quite clearly. And then we continue on out of there. So I was turning right. You know, there was no intention there, should we say. You can see I'm turning right. I don't straighten the wheel in any way. If I straighten the wheel, 100% drive-through then, in my opinion at least. But because I'm turning right, yeah, I disagree with that to some extent. So let's have a look at it from their perspective at least. Okay, now, well, I don't know what camera view they drive on, so we'll just go on this. We can't get a rear view mirror, can we? So maybe we can see it from this perspective. This is going to be interesting. Right, okay, so let's have a look at it from here first of all, as we head down into this. You can see on that camera at least there. So the rear view will have caught that as well. I've gone down the inside. Now, there is the hit. Now I need to slow this down a little bit more then, just so we can have an idea. Let's go on to this camera here. And I want to have a look at some of the inputs here, right? Okay, so I'm going to slow this down then as we head towards turn 1. So obviously they're going to brake earlier anyway because P2's in front of them and they don't want to hit P2. That's guaranteed. And they were struggling on their tyres essentially in this stint. So as we head into here then, they're releasing the brakes a little bit as well. So you can see they broke earlier. They're releasing the brakes a little bit. Now they start to turn in. And yeah, okay, through there we go. Arguably, I would actually say that's the curb that's caused that issue, even from this angle there. A slight clip of the curb. So just coming into here. Did they straighten up at any point? Did they keep turning right? I think we've both got the same steering input there, and we're both accelerating out at the same time. I actually think the curb's the cause there. Do you know what? I might do this along... I'm going to put both footage alongside each other and commentate on it after in a second. Coming into here, let me just look at this again. I'm pretty sure we're doing the exact same steering input. Have a look at this. It is. It's about that same point there. it's just, yeah, I think the curb just bounces me a bit too far over. Only a tiny bit, but a bit too far. My word. Apologies for the shouting outside. No idea what's kicking off. Right, I'm back, folks. Yeah, I have no idea what the shouting was. I had to go check it out, obviously. So, yeah, I think the curb was the issue here. I think the curb was the issue. But one thing I will say as well, and I'm going to go to a previous lap where I showed this. I did this in the live stream as well. Is that when we're coming into here, okay, so obviously they've left the gap open there. And we've gone through here. And we've had that slight bounce there, which has forced a bit of understeer. I think somebody said that on the live stream as well. But the one thing I will say, if a car's on your inside, you are risking a lot by continuing to turn right when you've got this part of the circuit here. I will say that. Now, looking at this now, you know, reactions have calmed down. We can relax a little bit. At the time, obviously, I was fuming that it was a drive-through. I still don't think it's a drive-through. I've got to be honest. Really don't think it's a drive-through at all. You know, you have the radar in ACC, everything else. It's where I would straighten up a little bit and continue on that line. But you can just see there's loads of room. And I mentioned this, as I say, on previous laps. I'm taking a very tight line here. So my line's going to be there, and their line's going to be there. If someone's on my inside, I always took an extra bit of safety, because otherwise you crash out. Now, you may go, well, why didn't you wait, Tidge? At the time, I said there was loads of space on the exit. That's what I thought. I still believe that to be the case, as I just pointed out there. But if I'd waited as well, this is this thing that got to me even more, is that they absolutely pleb this up completely. So they spin round. Their tyres are completely ruined, which is why everyone was catching up. And it takes them a while to get going again. You know, they bustle all that up, and, you know, yeah, they've lost a lot of time. But if we go to some previous laps then, let's jump on board with myself. So this is a previous lap. I think this is actually the previous lap. So we're going to come down into here. They've gone defensive in terms of this then, as we then head into the braking zone. As we go into here, notice how much room I'm giving compared to them, and look how much more deeper they go into the corner. You know, they were over here before. Now they've gone really deep. So they were leaving no room there at all. And I stopped turning quite quickly because I know the Aston Martin is there. If you look at my inputs here, as we go into the right-hander, you can see that I know the Aston Martin's made the same move I sort of did, but notice how I straighten up very quickly because I'm aware the Aston Martin's there. I'm aware they're there. And that was sort of the frustrating side of it, in my opinion. The Aston Martin did the exact same move as me. So if we jump on the Aston Martin here, actually, you know, they're coming from far back again as we turn into here. Exactly the same. And as we go through here, they actually straighten up a bit quicker. But again, I straighten up there and I keep towards that left-hand side. Oh, I completely 71 would have kept the position the same way I keep the position here, being that car ahead there. poor not rank 2, position 2 there, 888 car. Just stuck in this entire battle. This battle went on for ages, to be honest with you. But you can see there, it's a very similar move. I've had to stay more towards that left-hand side of the circuit. You can see where they are in comparison. So you're expecting, if somebody's offline a bit more, to go over towards that side. And that's what I thought at the time, you know. You look where 71 is here, very close to the line. And then we go to this part here. Let me go through this corner. You can see, actually, 71 here. You know, they were over there last time. They're now here. And then there's the point of contact. So looking at this now, what would I say? Probably, yes, you could give a penalty, for sure. I can understand why. It seems like the curb, slight clip of the curb, etc., has just caused a little issue there. Is it a drive-through? Now, this is where I would say no. It's not a drive-through. Like, if this was my own championship, you know, I've run the community championship, I would say here that there is room on the exit there to straighten up. You've seen the car go down the inside. You're going to have to leave a bit of room there, or there's going to be a crash. Yes, the car gets a penalty, but is it a drive-through? No. The drive-through cost, especially on Indy, is like, it's a minute plus, which is significant. It is significant. It really is. I don't see it as being a drive-through personally. 5, 10, 15 seconds at most, if you want to call it 15 seconds. I just don't see it being a drive-through. I really don't. But let me know your thoughts, though. You know, at the end of the day, it's been given. It's happened. I can't change it now. I just thought it'd be nice to review this with, you know, less of the reaction stuff at the time. We can look at it, go through it. I definitely think the curb had a factor here, though. I really do. As I say, I think it should be a timed penalty in the pits. 5, 10, 15 seconds, whatever it might be. I think the drive-through is just, yeah, it's just too much. As I say, the Aston Martin on the previous lap, did a very similar thing. So coming into here, just that bounce of the curb, it forces that little bit of understeer. It's only a tiny bit. And then, yeah, there's a bit of contact there. Bit of contact. And then it continues on through. So if we look at the previous lap then, we go to Castorino. Sorry, get the name right. Exact same situation, you know, except obviously the other Ferraris defend on the inside. And we're going to take that wide line. We leave more space on the inside as well, of course, because we do not want to cause any issues through there. You can see that understeer that everybody suffers through there anyway. And you can see there, I'm more towards that left-hand side. So, I mean, to be honest, if I was car 71, I'd have just done that line and kept the position all the same. It's like the exact same reason why I'm on that line now as car 20. I don't know why I'm looking that way because that's where the camera usually is. And I would have done that. But I do, a part of me feels like they forced a bit of an issue there. But hey, it is what it is. We've got a penalty. We've got a drive through. Let me know your thoughts, though. I really would love to hear your thoughts. But that's going to be the end of this ACC video. Now, I did say it would be a live stream today. Unfortunately, I've got to do a bit of work, so we have this video instead. There's another ACC video coming soon of the next race at Catalunya, where we do something very different in that. We're also in the new car, the 296. And we also have a live stream for ACC coming at the end of the week, where we're racing at Paul Ricard. So do make sure you check that out. We are going to be in this championship. It's the final round of the championship. Now, if you did like this video, do give it a like. Subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. I do my very best to try and get as much content, both Gran Turismo and ACC, out as much as possible. There are 2 videos there to check out. But once again, thank you so much for watching. Do let me know your feedback and comments in the comment section, which is nice. And I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.